Hello and welcome to Spain without the A. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do animated interiors. So, this is Autobeam Modding for Dummies, episode 3. First thing you're going to want to do is find your mod. Autobeam Modding for Dummies interior. You're going to want to load up any map. I use Grid Small Pure. Once you have your car spawned in, you're going to want to pause the game, reset the cars, that way everything is zeroed out. I have to use a tool because this is an older export. The tool will be in the description below. It is just a small little tool that will fix any materials for a older exported car. What you would do is copy this as a path, paste, find the main Jbeam, which is right here. Copy that name, post into there, paste, and you just hit whatever. I just hit it a couple times, see what pops up. Fix names, cut materials, build and clean up. Then you go to Beam. Beam will stutter, but you do want that because it's fixing all the materials and all the names for all the flex bodies and all that. There it is. It has finished all of its stuff. You're going to want to open up your car Jbeam once you fix the materials. Go to here, hit enter. You may have to tab just a little bit. And then you want to paste this code in. This code will be in the description below. It's in a Google Drive, and same for the Jbeam files that you need. You're going to want to go ahead and open up these. It will be blank because I'm just copying these from another car. It'll just be name underscore whatever. Changing this to the name of the flex bodies that I will be giving it. Once you have all the flex bodies, you can save these as is. If you see here, there you go. It's empty for now because once you Control R, sets them to the default. Okay. Once you have the code pasted, you're going to want to open your car folder, copy this as a path, and open Blender. It is on Steam, or you can download it directly from their website. Either one works. Press A, do the delete key, so you can remove that, go to File, Import, Collada. Then paste the path up there, click that, import. You can click the little icon and just drag up. That'll hide all the suspension stuff, the stuff that you do not need. What you need is the car. So press tab, that will tab into edit mode. Click this, that is face select. you're going to go into here, and you're going to want to click on anything you want to animate. So I want to animate the gauges. You can go to here, select by material. Now depending on what uses what, so if you have everything using the same material, it's a pain, but I can show you how to get out of that really easily. Press P, selection, and just name this to something temporary. And then you can hide it. So let's say you want to do this. You can hold your mouse over it, and L. That will select all the faces for a set thing. Doesn't really work here, so we'll just select. As you can see here, it's selected a lot of other faces. You can usually work around it pretty easily, so that's what I'll do here. There you go, there's the pedals. Separate pedals. Okay, now here's the difficult one. The L trick should work here. Yeah, see, it does work here. Or you can do Control plus, and it will start selecting faces. So you can like click that and just press Control plus a bunch, and it'll start selecting. I personally don't really use that. A way that I've found that works reliable enough is just selecting everything like this. It's reliable enough. Then you just go to here and select these. Then what you can do is go back into here, Control, deselect. That's how you deselect faces, is by holding Control. And there's the steering wheel. P, selection, bada bing, bada boom. But I still had other stuff, so I gotta Control Z that, so that way I can deselect that. Okay, that's everything unselected, so P, selection. Now you tab out of edit mode, hide the car body. I'm going to go into here, get your flex body, name, go to here, paste, paste. And what you can also do is click that, go back to the materials, click this drop down, remove unused slots. That removes any materials that the wheel isn't using. And you can do the same for your pedals and gauges. So you can go to here, remove, and same for here. Okay, now what you're going to want to do is click this, tab into edit mode, select any of these, P, selection, P, selection. So I'm going to go to my gauges, separate. But it turns out the flag that's on the antenna is the same material as my gauges, so in order to fix that I'll just separate, then go back to here, separate. Now, we're going to go back to your body. You're going to want to click that, shift click the body, Control J, and it's back on the car. See? And now time for the fun. You're going to want to go back into the Jbeams, so clutch, that will be this pedal, paste there, and down there. Same for the gas pedal. And then for the brake. Then you're going to go to the needles. You're going to want to check where your speedo is, so that way you memorize it. Mine is on the inside, so I will put it on the inside. So gauges, place, replace. And then same for the tachometer. What you're going to want to do, once you name all your flex bodies, highlight all, Control A, all transformations. We're going to click each individual flex body, set origin to geometry, or geometry to origin. Just the first option. And then you're going to want to hide everything except one piece at a time. You're going to click the rotate tool. You want to turn off this, that way you can see the solid material. You're going to flatten it out, push it down to where the middle of the wheel rim is aligned with the axes. Control A, all transformations. I'm going to go to here, Z, 180. And then you're going to want to realign it. Go to the rotate tool again and see how much slippage. Like, you see how it wobbles a little? I mean, there's a certain amount that's fine. You can just leave that as is. For the pedals, all you have to do is align the tip of the bracket. Generally, the pedals are pretty forgiving. You just do that. May have to slightly adjust it, but bada bing, bada boom. There you go. Okay. Time for the gauges. If you use a gauge that has the circle that the needle will pivot on, it's a lot easier to line it up. If not, you just kind of have to guesstimate it where you think it would. So, same for the speedo. And the way that your needles are going to be facing, the front of the needle is going to be facing towards the back of the car. Okay, I'm going to show you how to set up the pedals. Your gas pedal is going to go towards the driver's side. Your clutch pedal, if you have one, is going to be towards the outside. Your brake pedal, because it's in the middle, can always stay the same. You're going to want to unhide your body. Usually to the back window line is a good place to start. And then move it towards the passenger side, because everything's inverted. You're not going to want to control A here. Do not. You're going to want to export, Collada, go back to your car, find this, paste. Click that, export. It'll override it. See? It's gone, and then there it is. Now the fun part is going to be like finding all the little bitty pieces. Don't you love it? Generally, well, there they are, right there. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is, depending on how the body is set up, you're either going to want to move them further back or further forward. I do believe I need to move them further forward. The pedals, you can be a little bit more lenient with how far you move them because they're bigger. The needles are a lot more sensitive because they're a lot more smaller, so a little goes a long way with them. But there you go. There's your pedals. I mean, you can move them better so that way they're not you know, because I do believe this may clip. No, it won't. But what I can do, since there's a really move them further inward. And then that may be a little too much. Just keep re-exporting it until you get how you like it. I recommend animating the pedals before you do the needles, because the pedals are generally going to be right below the needles, so you can use the pedals as a reference. Let's say gas, brake, then your clutch. Okay. Time for the pedals, or for the needles. You're going to want to hide your body, find the tacho and speedo that you have. Tacho is going on the outside. Select these, move it up, and you're going to go about like right there. And then about right there. We'll just take a rough guess. Export. Car. There they are. Okay. Now that you've got your needles in position, you can quit worrying about them for now. Time for me to show you how to do the steering wheel. There we go. In order to do the steering wheel, you're actually not going to need Blender. You're just going to need the steering wheel Jbeam. And you're going to go to base translation. You have your side to side, back and forth, up and down. Just going to zero this out and see. Good enough. And I need to move it forward just a little bit more. And there you go. There's your steering wheel. Okay, now to fix these. As you can see, they're really off. We'll start with the tachometer first. You're going to want to find your idle RPM. See, that is not accurate. Now, what you're going to want to do is go into your needles. You're going to want to mess with the rotational values right here. If I'm not mistaken, this is the way that you need to rotate it. Because it's like you're rotating it in Blender almost, except you're doing it in a Jbeam. So what you're doing is you're going to want to level it out with the gauge. I do believe that was it, but I think it's reverse, I do believe. Okay, no, it's the wrong value. This is towards that way. Okay. Let me re-zero that back out. Okay. Do believe it's this. You can see it's a little bit more flat. You're going to want to angle it with this. There you go. Okay. You can center it out where it's perfectly flat, but personally I never do because it gives you a little bit more play with how you can animate it. It's a little bit more lenient. But you can make it perfect. You'll just have to mess with these values a ton. Okay. Now, what you can do is, since these are at the same angle, if they're different, the values are going to be different. But if they're the same, you can copy. And it will fix this one too. See? Voila. It's done. Now, I actually don't know if my speedo is perfectly aligned. I think it's a little bit low. Well, no, it isn't, because they're the same height, and the attack's fine. See? There. This is your idle. This is how far downward it goes. So my idle is about like 9. Where order to confirm it, you can go to UI, Add, and go to Engine Debug. You just hide cockpit. About 700 RPM. So let's take off 100 from here. I think the closer to 0, the further up it is. So let's do that. Control R. Yeah, there you go. Let's say that's a little bit closer. And this car revs to 55. So how far up does it rev? Revs to 8. So what you can do is take off RPM here. See? Let's give it about another 500 RPM or so. What you can do is that you can actually leave that as is most of the time. You can make it higher. You can just take off of this. We'll do like 0.6. So if you take off like the total rotation value, it'll think that you're see, you just have to mess with your idle and stuff more. Set it back to how you had it. A little bit less. Close enough. And then what you can do is you can just add however many RPM you need to this, and it'll rev up to that high. That's generally how I align it. I just take off the total rotation and just add extra or minus RPM as I need it. Let's go to 7,000. That's not really doing much. So what we'll do is we'll just add 0.1 of the RPM value back. It's a little too high, so we'll go with like 0.67. Almost a full 0.1, but not as much. There we go. That's a little more like it, I think. Nah, I don't think that's perfect. We'll do 6.5. Or 0.65. There we go. That's how you want it. I mean, generally that'll work itself out because this gauge is just really, really spaced out. So. Time for the speedometer. Now this is in kph. It should be mph, but it's not. So you'll have to convert it as is. So first and foremost, we gotta zero it out. Okay. Now that you've got it zeroed out, you're going to want to find the conversion if you're doing kph or mph, because by default this is set up for mph. So I just do a conversion. So at 60 miles an hour, this will be set to 96 kilometers an hour. So almost at 100. What you do to line it up is press 4 to go into relative. And then just kind of hit the gas. See, that is way too fast. So what you can do is go into Jbeam. You can slow it down by just taking off the rotational value. So I gotta be going 96 kilometers an hour at 60. Almost. Just a little bit faster. Okay, now that's a little too slow. And it's just a back and forth of lining it up. That's all it is. You just keep messing with the value until you get it lined up. I'm still hitting 80. Yeah. Maybe it's just the angle that I was viewing it at. So I've got a little bit more zeroed out perspective. Okay, I actually need to go a little bit faster. So we'll give it a little bit more rotational speed. That's about halfway in between, so about this. This should be plenty, and it should be right on the money. There we go. Now I'm going to show you how to get cameras. So. Okay, so in order to do the custom camera, you're going to want to paste this code over the original. this code will also be in the description. Everything will be labeled, so it'll be the needle Jbeam, pedal Jbeam, steering wheel Jbeam, the code for these, everything you need. So you're going to want to save, go back into Beam, Control R, and then see where the camera is. So this is hood. It's not high enough. I think it's too far forward. The interior, too low, too far to the right. So we'll start off with hood, which is right here. So we'll set this to about 1.1. Oh no, that's the height, because this is FOV. So I should go to about 1.5. And about right there. Hood, you always want it 0, because that's dead center of the car. A little bit higher, because you don't want any clipping. So we'll go to about 5.5. There you go. No clipping. Now time for this. Okay. So, further into the positive, the closer towards the driver door. The further into the negative, closer to the passenger door. So if you have a right-hand drive, you can put it on the right. Or you can just like flip it into the negative, and it'll mirror it. You can also add custom cameras in here by copying, pasting, just changing it to whatever. So let's just say you want a wheel cam. Change it to wheel. Put it to like 6. Change the value. But I changed this. You can set it to like the same height as the hood, and just see. You can see just fine. Now what you're gonna want to do is I gotta move it slightly towards the door a little more, and move it backwards because we're way too far up. There we go. That's a good angle. You're going to want your invisible head against the back of the seat here. But there's your wheel. It's just way too far out. I mean, you get the idea though. You can add whatever you want. So I'm going to take the wheel cam back off. And there you go. There's your animated interior. Join me in the next episode for mirrors and roof liner and glass. I will show you how to fix all of that. Alright. I've been your host, Fox, and I'll see you in the next one.